Right. Make sure we're live. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
I'm going to start off by giving all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we want to give peace and salutation to the elect, the house of David, as well as the rest of the 1/3, men, women, and children, whom the Lord will have mercy on at the time of his second coming. And that body altogether is known as the remnant, okay? As the Lord says in Matthew, the 24th chapter, he's going to gather his elect. Okay, somebody get that, Matthew 24 and 31. Real quick, the Lord is going to gather his elect from the four winds of the earth. Okay, and those are all Israelites. Okay, go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 31. And he shall send his angels with the great
Start
sun.
up at the verse before.
Okay, Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man from heaven. Okay.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
With power and great glory. He's going to come as an angelic force. He said, I'm not going to meet you as a man when he spoke to Esau, Edom, Babylon the Great. Go ahead.
Come. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect.
His elect. His elect. Start over, read that part again.
Come. And he shall send his angels with a great multitude, with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Right, from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. And who's the elect? Get that real quick in Isaiah 45 and 4.
Isaiah chapter 45, verse 4 says, For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect.
Israel, mine elect. Okay, so the elect are of the nation of Israel. That's the house who he's coming to have mercy on. But it's not the whole nation of Israel. It's only a remnant.
That's right.
As it is written in, you got something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. This is Isaiah chapter 11. And I'll start at verse 10. It says, 10. It says, In that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his breast shall be glorious.
His breast shall be glorious. Okay, and this is speaking of, all right, Yahushua said a root of Jesse. Who's Jesse, brothers?
The father of David.
The father of David. Okay, because when you go into the scriptures, according to the loins of David is where the Messiah will come to. Okay, and basically what we're going into is the large multitude in Revelation, the 7th chapter, which is something that Christians come with after they get cut on the fact that the Israelites are who the Lord is coming for. All right, so we'll get into that as well. Go ahead.
Verse 11, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall send his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
The remnant. Okay, keep that in mind because, as we said, the 144,000 and the large multitude, that is the remnant. Okay, go ahead.
Which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
Right. And this is speaking of Yahushua. We just read that he's going to gather his elect from the four winds of the earth. And this is just another, prophecy saying the same thing. Because since the time of Enoch and the time before that, since the family line of Adam was set up, there was prophesied a savior to come. Okay, go ahead.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
He's going to assemble the outcasts of Israel, man. All right. So go ahead. You got Hosea?
I got it.
Go ahead.
This is Hosea 1 and 10. It says, Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
So Israel is going to be as the sand of the sea. Go ahead.
It says, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered. Go ahead. Is it going to say the place where they said, not my people? Go ahead.
And it says, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power.
Right. In the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people. And that the whole world, is really, that's the vibe. But right here in America is the main place where it said we're not the chosen people of the Lord. We're niggas, we're spics. Okay. We're basically 3/5 of a human being. We're not even human. All right. So in the place where it was said unto the children of Israel in the whole world that ye are not my people, there you will be called the sons of the living God. And that's what you see happening right now. The Lord is assembling that remnant. So though Israel be as the sand of the sea, okay, only a remnant is going to be saved. And that remnant is described in Revelation, the 7th chapter, which we'll get. Okay? You got something?
Revelation.
Yeah, let's go get Revelation. Let's go ahead and start. Start at the top, and we'll just jump. Jump around.
This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing out of the 4 corners of the earth,
Right.
holding the 4 winds of the earth.
Holding the 4 winds of the earth. Go ahead.
And the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor any tree.
Right. 1 Corinthians 15, around 22. Go ahead.
And I saw another angel standing from the east, having the seal of the living God.
Having the seal of the living God. Go ahead.
And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea,
Right.
nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
Right. Until we have sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. Go ahead.
God.
So don't bring any destruction till we have sealed the servants of the Most High, man. And that's what's happening all throughout the 4 corners of the earth. All right. That's why Israel is the top conversation of everybody's mouth, because the Lord will have something happen or where something bug out or somebody coming against us do a video. But out of the 1,000 people that watch that video, the Lord has one that says, "Oh man, I'm gonna look further into this," and he'll eventually get the doctrine and be sealed.
Yep.
That's what's happening right now. Okay,
That's right.
that's why everywhere you look, everybody's talking about the Israelites, because that's what the Bible was dealing with. All right, contrary to popular belief, the Lord never broke that covenant that was made with his people, man. Okay, go ahead.
God. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000
Right.
of all the tribes of the children of
Of
Israel.
all the tribes of the children of Israel. So right there, it lets you know that the Lord is coming back for Israelites. All right. However, Christians say, well, it's just about Christians. It's this, it's that. Well, right there, we get them. So then some of them, all right, that read will get smart and say, well, okay, the Lord is going to save 144,000 Israelites. We get that. But of the other nations, it's going to be a large multitude that no man can number, which is complete nonsense.
That's right.
Why would the Lord only seal 144,000 Israelites, but then deliver and have mercy on a whole large multitude of heathen? That's not what that's talking about.
Right.
Go ahead and jump. You got something?
Yeah, the scriptures don't say that. I'm just gonna back you up. The scriptures don't say that.
Right.
I'm gonna get this real quick. 2 verses. This is Amos 9 and 11. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old."
Right.
Because that's where the elect is gonna come out of the house of David. He was talking about the elder said, "Who's the father of Jesse?"
Right.
David,
and that's the 144,000. That's the governing body, the house of David. But there's also a large multitude. All right, go ahead.
And this cuts that large multitude crap being the other nations. Verse 12, it says that they may possess the remnant of Edom and all of the heathen.
Right. So when David's throne was united, okay, you had both tribes together under David's throne, okay, and then you had the 40 years of peace under Solomon. The heathen nations were the Israelites' footstool. All right, that throne is coming to be set up all over again, but in righteousness. You see, and this time it won't be a mistake. This time we won't go off. This time that throne of David will be established forever and ever and ever. So when David's throne was established, were the Edomites and him equal? Were him and the Philistines equal? No, he triumphed over having them under his foot. And as Yahushua says, all right, I will make thine enemies thy footstool. Okay? So just as Yahushua has that promise, get Revelation 2 real quick. Revelation 2 and 26.
It's Revelation chapter 2.
Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. Yahushua is going to have the heathen for his inheritance, but we are joint heirs with him. All right, go ahead.
Revelation 2 and 26.
Right.
And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
And to him will I give power over the nations. Okay, go ahead.
It says in verse 27, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers.
Shall they be broken to shivers. So all of the other nations will not be on the same playing field as Israelites. Salvation in itself is the law, statutes, and commandments being written inside of the Israelites. That's the kingdom of heaven. Okay, you got some more?
That was pretty much the point.
Okay.
Of
Just a quick precept.
Yeah, then we got to get to the large multitude.
Okay, This Isaiah chapter 60, verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee
Mhm.
shall come bending unto thee.
Right, and this is Isaiah 60.
Mhm.
Right, exactly. The sons of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. Go ahead.
And all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet.
Mhm.
And they shall call thee the city of Yahweh,
Right.
the Zion or monument of the Holy One of Israel.
There you go. They're going to acknowledge that we are the seed whom the Lord has blessed, and they're going to be our footstool. Okay.
If I may, just verse 14 says the sons of them. For you Christians that try to say, well, that ain't talking about the nations, that's talking about just the people or the evildoers. When you read up in verse 12, it clearly goes into nations. All right, the sons that afflicted us is going into different nations, and that's starting with your so-called white people who are the Edomites. All right, you're going to play that role first of bending down, bending the knee. Okay, back to Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. All right, and it reads,
Because after the 144,000 were sealed, it read, eat 12,000 out of each tribe. Okay, and then it goes to verse 9. And what does verse 9 say?
verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number.
Right, a great multitude which no man can number. So you have to ask yourself, is the Lord just going to seal all, after all of these promises that were given to the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and that seed? Okay, the Lord is just going to save 144,000 Israelites, but of the heathen, the Edomites, the Moabites, the Hamites, the Japhites, and all these different heathen nations, the Ishmaelites, he's going to get a large multitude that no man can number.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Of all nations
Mhm.
and kindreds and people and tongues.
Right, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues. Okay, so what is this speaking of? What is this talking about? First off, what would happen to the Israelites as a result of a curse? Deuteronomy 4:27. Yep, Deuteronomy 4:27. Did you have something?
Yeah, I was going to bring
What's
again
that?
kindreds.
Kindreds, yeah, yep.
When you go into that word kindreds here in the blue letter,
Right.
it's pronounced phula
Mhm.
in the Greek, and it says a tribe. In the New Testament, it says a tribe.
Mhm.
So that clearly shows you it's not talking about all the other nations because it's going into a particular tribe.
Mhm.
And who ultimately do it come from Israel.
Right.
It says in the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob.
Right, of the patriarch Jacob, in which when you read Genesis, the 35th chapter and the 10th verse, there was a promise made to him and his seed, his posterity that issued forth from him. Okay? And you can't cut or give that promise to anyone else but who the Lord promised it to. Okay? Go ahead, some more.
Yeah, in the lexicon, when you go to it, you go down to number 2, it says a race, a nation, a people.
Right.
You know, and then on the similar precepts of list is Revelation 5,
Mhm.
Revelation 11, Revelation 13 and 14. And verse 14, again, chapter 14 goes right into the 144,000 again.
144,000. There you go.
You know, the ones who understood the new song.
Right. That's right.
I got that Deuteronomy 4.
Get that?
Yeah, this is Deuteronomy 4:27. It says, and the Lord shall scatter you among the nations.
Right. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations. So remember, the Israelites would be scattered among the nations. Okay? Go ahead.
And ye shall be left few in number among the
And
heathen.
ye shall be left few in number among the heathen.
Mhm.
So the Israelites will be scattered among the heathen. Okay? That was a direct curse, and that is to this day. All right. We have been scattered from our homeland throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, go ahead.
Whither the Lord shall lead you.
Whither the Lord shall lead you. So you would be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, whether the Lord would lead you. All right, but how would he have mercy on us? Through the 144,000, which are the first fruits. All right, and then there's a large multitude. All right, that's what we say, the men, women, and children whom the Lord will have mercy on. And those are the believers. Because when you get John the 17th chapter, we don't have to get it. The Lord prayed for his servants, the teachers, those who followed him whithersoever he goeth, but he also prayed for those who believed on him through their word. And there's particular people who do good deeds to the prophets that are also going to be delivered as well, man. Okay? You, as the scriptures say, you do the prophets, as you give to the prophets water, you get the prophet's reward. as David set up Jonathan. Jonathan, he wasn't a prophet, okay, but David blessed him with servants and all sorts of things because they had a bond. They were friends. Okay, you got something?
I got that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is St. Matthew 10 and 41. It says, he that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward.
Right. He that receiveth the prophet in the name of a prophet, get John 17 and 20. Real quick, John 17 and 20. He that receiveth the prophet in the name of the prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. Keep going.
It says, and he that receiveth the righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward.
Shall receive a righteous man's reward. You see what I'm saying? So people in this planet Earth who do the prophets well, you know, you may have a messed up day and somebody hooks you up.
Yep.
You may need to get through a line and, you know, Eve will come and I got it. You know, certain things that people in this world conceal them.
Yep.
Because the Lord has mercy according to how he wants to have mercy. Not because people will hear that and be like, so they ain't got to go out. They ain't got to. The Lord can seal who he wants to seal, man. And there's going to be harlots that are going to be delivered before a lot of you Israelite women out there. That's according to the scriptures, man. Okay? Because they were truthful about who they were. They weren't fronting like they were some sophisticated woman.
Exactly.
You see? So there's people within this planet Earth, all scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, either in this time or in another life. They did well to the prophets, man.
That's right.
And they're going to receive a reward of a prophet, meaning they're going to be delivered. Because the 144,000, that's the governing body. All right? But there's also a large multitude of Israelites that he's going to have mercy on. How are we going to have children? Don't we need women?
Kind of.
The scriptures say that women are going to be saved in childbearing. So where are the women going to come from? Heathen? No, I mean, although we can deal with it, but we're going to have Israelite women, man, that are going to be delivered, right, that we can repopulate and make one shall become 1,000. All right, a small nation shall become a multitude. All right, we're going to be fruitful and multiply.
That's right.
Okay, and the nation of Israel will be dominated forever, man. Go ahead.
That's right. Verse, this is St. Matthew 10 and 42. It says, and whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water only.
Right, like you may be at camp, you know, a woman or Jake will come up and just give you some water. That's happened to us before. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a deed that maybe the Lord is setting this person up. That deed may get them delivered, man. Like Ariella was saying that one day at camp. Watch what you say about the prophets, man. A dude walked by shaking his head. He walked across the street and got mocked by some bug out dude.
Word.
Yeah, could have been an angel. You know?
Yep.
So there's people who are going to be delivered, man. You got to watch what you say, man. Okay, go ahead.
It says, in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you got people who are going to do deeds to the prophets. And you're going to have people who believe the prophets. Go ahead.
This is John chapter 17, verse 21. It says, you want me to start verse 20?
That's cool.
17 and 20. Neither pray I for these alone.
Right. He prayed for his followers, his teachers, those who have given his word. Because the 144,000, what do they have? The new song. Okay. So that's the true doctrine, the 100% truth. But you're also going to have those who hear that word and are sealed. You see, but they're not a part of the governing body. Okay, go ahead.
Neither pray I for these alone, but for them which shall believe on me through their word.
Which them there you go.
Yep.
Them which shall believe on me through their word. So somebody get 1 Corinthians, if it's some more, 15. It started at like 22. Go ahead. Some more.
Yeah, it says that they all may be one.
Started over at 21, 20.
Okay.
20 again.
All right, this is John chapter 17, verse 20. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, that they may be one, that they may all be one.
That's the body. You see what I'm saying? The 144,000 and those whom the Lord is going to have mercy on. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
As thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us.
In us. And that's the 144,000 in the large multitude.
Yep.
Go ahead.
That the world may believe that thou hast sent me.
Right. And through that remnant, He's going to reestablish his people, and everybody is going to know that he is. The whole world will be forced to bow. All right, all knees, including us. All right, and but under us, under the 144,000, hey, everybody else is going to bow to them. That's the order that the Heavenly Father is dealing with. Okay, so that is going to be the body, the remnant, who he comes back for. Somebody got 1 Corinthians 15? Go ahead.
Start at verse 21, right?
If that's a good spot.
Okay, 1 Corinthians 15. I started at verse 21. Well, verse 22. For as you talking about when Adam all died and all that?
It's gonna come up after that. Go ahead.
Okay, verse 21. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
For as
and
in
that's
Adam,
the first Adam, we all died through him.
Mhm.
Through the second Adam, we're all going to be made alive, which he's going to put that way in us. Okay, and we're the woman. So the woman who went off and was fooled by the serpent in the garden, this time Adam, he's going to instill those ways in her. All right, if you're looking at this symbolically, go ahead.
for as in Adam all died, even so in the Mashiach shall all be made alive.
Right, go ahead.
Every man in his own order.
Every man in his own order. This is the order. Okay, go ahead.
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
the first fruits.
the first fruits. Now, who are the first fruits? Somebody get Revelation 14 and 4, right? Real quick, before he finishes that, Revelation 14 and 4.
Got to.
It said every man in his own order. So what is that order? We just read it. When you're reading about the 144,000 in a large multitude, which we'll go back to that, what you're reading about is the order whom the Lord is going to have mercy on. He ain't just coming back and just setting up a random. No, there's going to be a government. As Yahushua, it said there's going to be a government. It's going to be on his shoulder. We're going to rule, brothers. We're going to rule this whole world in righteousness. Okay? But there's going to be rank and order in the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead.
What's the Revelation?
14 and 4, yeah.
Kind of, I'll get it. This is Revelation 14 and 4. It says, these are they which were not defiled with women.
And who's this chapter speaking about, just so they can know?
The elect.
The 144,000,
Yeah.
those who have the new song and follow the Lamb whithersoever you go. Okay, go ahead.
It says, Revelations 14 and 4. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins.
Right.
These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb.
So these are the first fruits. So go back to that.
I got just a quick
Okay,
real
go ahead.
quick. This is James chapter 1, verse 18. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we shall be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. And this is James, right?
Right.
But when you read the first chapter, the first verse,
Let's
get it. This is James 1 and 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings.
Right. And that word scattered is diaspora, which is the scattering of the Israelites, man.
Come.
Okay. They were scattered throughout all the four corners of the earth. Even being over here in America is being scattered. Because where are you being scattered from? Your homeland.
Yep.
That's the scattering. People say, well, the northern tribe were scattered. Well, if they over here, they were scattered.
That's right. That's right.
But they were scattered in particular areas of the earth. But being over here in Babylon, that's being scattered. Because you're scattered from your homeland. Man.
Right. That's right.
But people don't use their mind. A lot of you just want to argue, man.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a scoffer that was on this comment board. They tried to leave Mark chapter 3, verse 8, where it talked about a multitude of Idumeans following Yahushua.
Right.
And I pretty much told him those were
Israelites that were in, because he went and taught there.
Yep. And he said there were no Israelites scattered in Idumea.
All right.
They called it Edom Rome at one point. You know,
Bro, Jake was everywhere. We're here.
Paul was a Roman citizen. What the hell are he talking about?
But why wouldn't Jakes be scattered in Idumea when Idumea sat right next to Israel?
It's right by Judah, the land.
Right. But there's Israelites in Rome, but not in Idumea.
They can be realistic when it comes to the scriptures, man.
Bro, Israelites were scattered everywhere, bro.
Yeah, I got a precept.
Finish that real quick. Yeah.
Oh, Corinthians.
Yeah. Start at
I got you. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 23. But every man in his own order, a Mashiach, first fruits, after they that are Mashiachs at his coming.
Afterward, they that are Hamashiachs at his coming. So you have your Yahushua, the first fruits, which is the 144,000. Then they who are Hamashiachs at his coming.
Right.
which is basically all of that whole body is the 1/3. But there's an order to the 1/3. You see? And that starts with the 144,000, man. Okay? And we're going to get more into the large multitude as well. We just wanted to bring all of these scriptures together so that you can have understanding of how the Lord is going to have mercy. What's the order?
Right.
Go ahead, brother. What you got?
This is, yeah, I did.
Yeah, get it.
This is Acts chapter 2, verse 5, just going into that multitude. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
They were all over the earth. Okay.
Qualified. It says Jews, and on top of that, devout men. Only the Israelites
Right.
that follow Yahweh Shah can be considered devout.
There you go.
But that shows that scattering had taken place. You know, the diaspora, with the nation of Israel, we were scattered amongst the other nations, man.
Right.
That's simple, man.
That's right. We were always there. That was the curse.
Yep.
And when you read the curses, it say you should be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and you're going to serve other gods, which wood and stone, which you have not known.
Yep.
And that's how we became Gentiles. Go ahead, brother.
This is Acts chapter 3, verse 24. Yea, and all the prophets from Samuel and those that follow after, as many as have spoken, have likewise foretold of these days.
Right.
Ye are the children of the prophets and of the covenant which the Most High made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, and in thy seed shall all the kindreds of the earth be blessed.
And in thy seed shall all the kindreds of the earth be blessed, man. Because Israel will be scattered amongst all of the nations, man. All right. And after that body is sealed and that dominion is set up, ultimately, once Esau is gone, the heathen will be able to witness a righteous rulership as well. Okay? Because having us ruling is ultimately a blessing to the earth. Every creature on the earth is waiting for the manifestation of the Israelites, man.
That's right.
But ultimately, it starts with the Israelites who were scattered amongst those nations, man.
That's right.
Okay? Because the earth is going to be ran the way the Heavenly Father wants through this body of people, man.
That's right.
That's the blessing. That's our heritage, man.
God.
All right?
And when you go to that word kindreds in this particular verse, like we read in Revelation 7 and 9, well, this one, it means the same thing,
Right.
but this one right here is patriarchs, which goes back to patriarch,
Patriarch.
you know, which goes back to Abraham. But when you go back to that word patriarchs and look it up, it says in the 12 tribes of Israel, it came from the patriarch Abraham,
Right.
one common father that we all derived from.
Right. And then the promise was given to Isaac.
That's right.
And then somebody get Genesis 35 and 10 real quick. And then we'll go back to Revelation 7.
This is Genesis chapter 35, verse 10. It says, and the Most High said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob.
Right, any more Jacob. But see, people, the way we break the Bible down, you got to be in the spirit, basically, to understand what we're talking about. Because the Bible isn't just something you can go to and point at something and say, see. Anybody can do that. Right. We can go to the Bible to try to prove, prove our own emotion. To go to a scripture, you can go to John 3:16. Right. There's various scriptures you can go to. That with the sheep netted with the four corners, the unclean. You could say, well, damn, he told him you could eat mouses. You could eat spiders. You could eat anything. You could eat electric eels. You can eat monkey brain.
Right. You
can eat whatever the hell you're using that. But there's stories behind these things. You got to go into history, prophecy. You have to go into various things, here a little, there a little, and put the pieces together. Okay, go ahead.
It wouldn't be considered a mystery if it was meant for everybody to understand it.
Right.
You know.
Right. Go ahead.
Go back to Revelation 7.
No. I mean, keep in Genesis, right?
Yeah, Genesis.
All right. Let me just get after I finish reading this. This is Genesis 35 and 10. The Most High said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name.
Right.
And he called his name Israel.
Right. Right. When he called his name Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
This is when Jacob's name was changed to Israel. What was that promise that the Lord told him? Go ahead.
Verse 11 says, and the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High, Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee. And kings shall come out of thy loins.
Right. And kings shall come out of thy loins. Go ahead.
It says, verse 12, and the land And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee will I give it,
To thee will I give it. Go ahead.
and to thy seed after
And to
thee
thy seed after thee. Go ahead.
will I give the land.
Right now, was that saying a spiritual seed? No. What is that word seed in the Greek? When you look up that, I mean, in the Hebrew.
Oh, in the Hebrew. I'm gonna look it up.
Probably
Greek is
go back to sperm. Yeah.
No, it ain't Greek because that's the Old
Yeah,
Testament.
yeah,
right?
it's like
It's in Hebrew.
You said 30 and
35 and 11, I believe you read.
34. Okay. I'll pull it up.
Whoever can get it first, you know. But yeah, that's the promise. You can't take that away, man. You know, and Christians will just come along and say, well, nah, you know, that ain't what that meant. You know, he gonna say who I say he gonna say. All right. To thy seed after thee.
Word Zerai.
Zerai, there you go.
Yeah, it says offspring.
Offspring. All right, offspring, man. And there's, go ahead.
Posterity and children.
Posterity and children. So that promise is only to that seed. Now you may say, well, how do you know you're that seed? Well, we're doing exactly what it said that seed would be doing in the latter days, coming back to our heritage. Okay, afflicted. We would go into captivity, have our land stolen from us, be trodden, downtrodden, but rich in faith, man. So we don't need DNA tests to prove that we're the Israelites. We're doing what it said the Israelites would do. The dry bones waking up, you know, the enemies beholding us, being afraid. All of these things are happening because we are that seed to whom that promise pertains to. This is why we're standing up in these latter days. Go ahead.
Romans 11:1. I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people?
Right.
God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Right, of the tribe of Benjamin. Go ahead.
The Most High hath not cast away his people, which he foreknew.
Right.
Will ye not know what the scripture said of Elias? How he maketh intercession to the Most High against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life.
Because our people always wanted to kill the prophets, and they're doing the same thing today. They just have keyboards now. Go ahead.
But what said the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
That's the 144,000. That's symbolic of the 144,000. Those are the prophets. Okay, go ahead.
Even so then, at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace.
There's a remnant out of the nation of Israel according to the election of grace. Go ahead.
And if by grace, then is it no more works. Otherwise, grace is no more grace.
Right.
But if it be of works, then is of no more grace. Otherwise, work is no more work.
Right. It was through promise, man. It's not through our works. It was promised to us, man. But that the seed to whom that promise is given to, starting with the elect, all right, they're going to be in a particular energy, although we understand 2/3 ain't going to get it in this time. But the men of the Lord will be in a particular energy in these latter days because it said in the latter days they will stand up, man. All right, you got something? Let's go to Revelation.
Revelation.
Yeah.
Chapter 7.
Yeah. And let's read that large multitude again.
God, that's good.
And then Ezekiel 36, and start at like 19.
This is Revelation chapter 37, verse 9. I'm sorry. Revelation chapter 7, verse 9.
Bible you read.
Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues.
Right, because the Israelites were scattered amongst all these nations. This is why we teach that Israelites are going to come looking like the other nations because they're scattered amongst the other nations. You don't think they took on a look of these different nations?
Right.
Even coming over here. Okay, and then in dealing with Esau, he put his seed is everywhere. So our men are going to have all, now as much as you Israelite women and men hate that, it happened. Israelite men laid with heathen women. Constantly, whether you say it's wrong or right, it happened.
Right.
On a large multitude, and it's happening on a large scale into this day. Outside of your feelings alone, that happened. Go ahead.
Come. I'm going to just start at verse 9 again. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God.
To our God. Who is he the God of, brothers? Abraham,
Isaac, and Jacob.
Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? That narrative never changed.
Right.
Okay? And that's even in the New Testament. Go ahead.
God, which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb.
Uh-huh. There you go. No, that's some more. Go ahead.
And all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne in their faces and worshiped the Most High, saying, Tawah, or Amen, verbatim, blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our power forever and ever.
Right.
Amen.
To our power forever and ever. Go ahead.
And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes?
Right. Who are these? Go ahead.
And whence came they?
Mm-hmm.
And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb.
In the blood of the Lamb. Who was the blood of the Lamb shed for? The Israelites.
Right.
Under the first covenant, it was the blood, all right, of the unblemished lamb. Under the second covenant, it's the blood of Yahushua, who was the unblemished lamb. Go ahead.
Come. Therefore are they before the throne of the Most High, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he
Who's
that
his temple? The Israelites, the 144,000. But remember, it said that large multitude came out of all nations and kindreds and tongues. Let's go ahead and get Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, real quick.
All right. 36 or 37?
36.
36.
Start at 19.
Ezekiel 36 and 19, it says, and I scattered them among the heathen.
And I scattered them among the heathen. Go ahead.
Among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings. I judged them.
Right. According to their way and according to their doings, I judge them. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name.
They profaned my holy name. And then the Lord turned his back on us. We became Gentiles. Go ahead.
When they said to them, These are the people of Yahweh, and are gone forth out of his land. But I had pity for mine holy name,
Right.
which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen.
Among the heathen. Among the heathen. Scattered among the heathen. Go ahead.
Whither they went. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus saith Yahweh your power, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen whither ye went.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 23. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them.
Right.
And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, saith your power, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
Before the heathen. So ain't no heathen go partake in that covenant. The covenant is that what? The Israelites. And that's all through that's in Old and New Testament that the second covenant is the Israelites. Man. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 24, it says, For I will take you from among the heathen.
I will take you from among the heathen. Go ahead.
And gather you out of all countries.
And gather you, Israelites, out of all countries. Go ahead.
And will bring you into your own land.
Into your own land. Now, what does that promise go back to that we just read, brothers? Get that in Genesis 35 again. Genesis 35 and start at 11. Because Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And then what was the promise given to Jacob?
This is Genesis 35 and 11. And the Most High said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land.
So read that again.
God, verse 24. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and I will bring you into your own land.
Right.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Verse 25. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you.
They're going to be washed. The laws are going to be put in them. And that's how the rulership is going to start. That's how the throne of David will be established through the Lord putting the 144,000 as the governing body and having mercy on that other part of the remnant, which is the 1/3. Okay, go ahead.
And ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you.
Remember it said ye were Gentiles carried away by these dumb idols? Go ahead.
Verse 26, a new heart also will I give you,
Mhm.
and a new spirit will I put within you.
Right.
And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh,
Mhm.
and I will give you an heart of flesh.
Right. Go ahead.
And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes,
Mhm.
and ye shall keep my statutes and do them.
And do them. Keep going.
Verse 28 says, and ye shall dwell in the land that I gave your fathers,
Uh-huh.
and ye shall be my people, and I will be your power.
There you go. You shall dwell in that land. And it goes even further in Ezekiel. Somebody got something?
Yeah, I got you.
Ezekiel 37.
And the next,
Um,
in your own land, bring.
Yeah, read that again. Read that.
Okay. This
Then
is
you know.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and 21. It says, and say unto them, thus saith
Say
Yahweh.
unto who? The house of Israel. Man.
Right. Come. It says, thus saith Yahweh your power, behold, I will take the children from Israel, the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land.
Mm-hmm.
And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king unto them all.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall be done, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms
Right.
anymore at all.
Right, because under David was the both the northern and southern kingdom together, and it's split under Solomon. Okay, so that throne is going to be reestablished, and all right, 12 tribes will be dwell in unity again, man. But that's going to be forever and ever and ever, man.
Cool.
All right, but I think it says that the land of Abraham and Isaac. If not, that's cool for it. That's cool. Go ahead, brother.
This is Zechariah chapter 2, verse 10. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Lord.
How is he going to dwell in us? What did he dwell in the ancient times? The covenant, the Ark of the Covenant, which was in the temple. But the temple this time is going to be the 144,000. That's going to be the where he directly dwells. But all of our people are going to be righteous, man. But the governing body the law is going to issue forth from Jerusalem are the Israelites, man. Starting with the 144,000. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day, and shall be my people.
Mm-hmm.
And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that, and thou shalt know that Yahweh of hosts had sent me unto thee.
Right. How fair is that? That like at least we say that people are going to look like the other nations, that they're going to be people who are scattered amongst all of the nations are going to be delivered.
Right.
Well, what's so unfair about what we're saying? The only issue is that we're telling you so-called white people, you through.
Right.
So if you through, everybody got to be through.
Telling us that for years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A beautiful example of that is the caste system that was formed in South Africa with the Calvinists, man.
Mm-hmm.
That placed those indigenous people as second-class citizens,
Right.
which apartheid didn't stop until the 1990s. I don't know if brothers remember Lethal Weapon,
Mhm.
the second one, where you had them going into the embassy of South Africa, and they made a big scene in there where they was protesting about apartheid in the 90s. Not to mention all of the crude things that these so-called scientists did to those people, injecting them with AIDS and things of that nature. But all that is, it's okay. But when we say that we're special,
Right.
so-called black people, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
We're a cult.
Yeah.
Right.
But the drug dealers ain't a cult.
But Puritans can come over here and commit genocide on a group of people, and we're just told to get over it. You know, so are those people who did all the horrendous acts, your forefathers, are they in hell now? Or are they cool because they believe in Jesus?
Good point. So-called white people.
Right. Good point.
People out of your people out of your damn mind, man. And that pride is being chopped. And the Lord is laying open the folly of the people who these Christians, man. He's calling you to come out and say all sorts of horrendous things, man. And we love it. Go ahead.
God, Zechariah 2:11, and many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people. And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that Yahweh of hosts hath sent me unto thee. Verse 12, and Yahweh shall inherit Judah his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again.
Right.
So though when you read it earlier, verse 11, it says, many nations shall be joined.
Many
Well, those
nations.
many nations, they're going to be plucked up and put back into their land.
And we read it. So that large multitude is speaking of Israelites, man.
That's right.
Okay, the Lord ain't just going to just save 144,000, and then the heathen get more than the actual Israelites. Come on, man, that doesn't make sense. You guys make the Heavenly Father to just be this schizophrenic. You know, he makes a promise here. And he's on a cross talking to himself.
Yeah,
Right.
Y'all make you Christians ruin the
It's
Bible, man. That's why people turn atheists.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Isaiah 11 and 10.
It's like
And then, oh, that already came out.
read it.
God, slack. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious.
Mm.
And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh by shall set his hands at again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel,
Mhm.
and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
It's written right there, man. Israel and Judah, which is the northern and southern kingdom. Man.
The envy also of Ephraim shall depart,
Mhm.
and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Going into what you had brought out, and we're gonna be one nation once
There
again.
you go.
Yep.
Like the throne of David. That's what the Messiah is coming to sit on, the throne of David, man.
Yo, and when we was reading, that's the spirit we was in Ezekiel 37. We
Yeah.
read up, it talks about those sticks being joined
Join
together.
him. That's under David.
Yep.
You know. Go
under the
ahead.
umbrella of David. But this is Jeremiah 16 and 15. It says, but the Lord liveth that brought up the children.
Start up.
Start up a little bit.
Yeah.
14. Okay, kind. This is Jeremiah 16 and 14. It says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, and it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Mhm.
But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north.
From the land of the north, which is Babylon and Great America. All right. But also, go ahead.
And from all the lands whither he had driven them.
And from all the lands where they have driven them, man.
Yep. And guess what? Yep. And I will bring them again into their land
Right.
that I gave it to their fathers. That posterity that we was talking about, that actual seed
Right.
in that bloodline through the patriarchs. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
They think it's like a fairy tale promise or something. No, this was an actual legacy inheritance that was left behind by our forefathers. That we gonna fulfill that lot in the last times through Yahweh Shah.
Right.
He's gonna basically set the order for the house of David being set back in power.
Right.
And then in the kingdom with the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts, man. That's how we gonna govern the other nations.
Right. That's right. That's
No?
right. Let's end it. Somebody got something?
Yeah.
I got something.
Now y'all
We got two more, and then we can end it off in Jeremiah 33, starting like 17. Go ahead.
It's Tobit chapter 13, starting at verse 3. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he has scattered us among them.
Break it down.
That's what we're doing right now, man. You know, there's nothing new under the sun, so now that's what we're doing. We're confessing amongst the Gentiles. That's why we have brothers in Holland, in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
in Peru, South America, here in North America, you know, England. We were scattered, man. That's according to the curse of Deuteronomy in 28:64.
Right.
There declare his greatness and extol him before all the living. And that's what you see right now, right? Declaring the real works and the real greatness of Yahweh Hashem, you know, giving the real glory, not just glory in ourselves.
Right.
For he is our Lord and he is the power of our Father forever.
Right.
And he will scourge us for our iniquities That's why you see us now. We're scattered. You know, we were scourged for our iniquities, you know, according to the curses. And he will have mercy again. And he will gather us out of all nations among whom he had scattered us. And that's what he's doing. He's waking us all up around the four corners of the earth, man. He's waking Jacob and bringing and having that mercy, man. We're coming back to understand that we're Israel.
Those Gentiles.
You know, those Gentiles are waking up by that Gentile state of mind.
Yep.
You know, when 1 Corinthians 12, you were a Gentile, straight away these idols. We're putting off that now, man.
Right.
Come back to our true heritage.
Watch this. Acts 15 and 19. Wherefore my sense is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned unto the Most High. Those are Israelites.
Yeah.
The whole time, this whole thing has been talking about Israelites, man. But see, it's only a mystery that the whoever has the new song is going to understand, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is going to just cut off the Lord's promise and establish their own righteousness. But the true men of the Lord follow the whole logic and put the puzzle together for you, man.
Yep.
Through the Spirit, because this is a puzzle. It's meant for you to trip. The way that the Lord has this truth is meant for people to trip and stumble,
Wrestle with the scriptures.
to wrestle with it and bug out. It's because the way he did it is so cold, because it's coded only for the elect.
Exactly.
This book is like literally the deep waters, man. It's done. You could be anybody if you believe.
Yeah, that's the new covenant.
That's the new covenant, which that's not written, man.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody has.
I got one verse, actually. There's one verse here. This is Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own
And
land.
set them in their own land. We've been reading it, man.
Look.
Right. Go ahead.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
Right. The outcasts of Israel, man.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
And they shall cleave into the house of Jacob.
Right. And that cleave means joined unto. They're going to be joined unto the covenant. The remnant starts with the 144, but the rest through that body is going to have mercy as well, man, because it's all based upon those 144. Those who do the prophets well and those who believe on their word.
That's right.
And the children, their children,
Shall receive a promise.
shall receive a prophet's reward.
Yep.
They're going to be joined, because when you look at that word joined, somebody get that word joined in Isaiah 14.
That's what I was thinking.
It's going to be, it's
I was
proof.
thinking that,
It's
man.
proof that it ain't talking about. It ain't talking about actual. I don't know if it's law, yeah. I mean, but it may be it's something similar, but it's going to be to cleave onto means to be joined unto, and they're going to be joined into the covenant, alluding to Isaiah the 56th chapter, the outcasts of Israel. You got it?
It's law. Wow.
Lawas, but it's the same thing. It's the root. Go ahead.
God said,
You get it
right here. Oh, it just says to join, be joined,
right.
to attend.
Right. The heathens ain't going to be joined unto us.
Yeah.
They're not going to have the covenant, man. This is what we're trying to tell you people. The heathen aren't going to have the laws written in them. That promise ain't to them.
God.
They'll be there, but they're going to be our footstool, man.
God.
Just as they were under David. What are we saying that's so wrong? You don't say so?
Yeah, when you read it in Romans the 9th chapter, that's the spirit. When Paul's clearly going to pretty much how he could make himself a curse like Yahweh, could pretty much put himself on it, give himself that burden, say Yahweh shine. And then he said, to whom my kinsmen are pertaining to the flesh who are Israelites. And then he goes into a plethora of different things as pertaining to the Israelites. He goes into the law, the services, the promises. And then he says, right, that's the covenants. He didn't say covenant. He said covenants with an S. Meaning both of those covenants are pertaining to the tribes of Israel, man. Right. You can't get around it. Paul clearly said that. And when you read that whole chapter in Romans 9, it clearly cuts what you Christians have to say, man.
Right. The end of it, too, when it says, as it says in Hosea,
It's going right. Yep.
I will call them my people, which were not my people. Those are the Gentiles. That's right. All right. Straight up. All right.
He's a concern of being what Charles was talking about. He's a concern of the flesh among Shakane.
Right.
Showing that seed is you can't be no spiritual Israelite, man. The church is trying to say, we just all Israelites in the spirit. No, man. That seed is here, man.
That's right.
See, they're going to get that promise, no matter what you people say.
That's right.
Go ahead.
You're gonna Jeremiah.
Whatever, did you have something?
Yeah.
Real quick.
Isaiah chapter 42 and 5. It says, for thy maker. Matter of fact, 4. Isaiah 54:4. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame. For thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth. Thou shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore. We're just going into how,
Being put away.
yeah, exactly. I'm not my people, being put away, being cast out from the good grace of the Most High. Verse 5, it says, for thy maker is thine husband, the Lord, Yahweh of hosts is his name,
Right.
and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The power of the whole earth shall he be called. It says, for he hath called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, a wife of youth when thou wast refused, saith Yahweh.
Right. And he refused us because we broke that first covenant. We were at fault. Okay. Some more.
Yeah, 2 more verses.
Okay.
It says, for Yahweh hath called, verse 7, for a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahweh thy Redeemer. You know, this is exactly what we've been going into, being scattered through the Most High's wrath and then being gathered through his mercies.
That's right.
You see?
So we'll end it off on Jeremiah 33. Start at 15.
Okay. Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 15 says,
You good? Because I'm just a little bit.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Go ahead.
read my thing.
Okay.
In those days and at that time will I cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David, and he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land. In those days,
Shahawashah. Okay, the branch. Okay, the word Nazareth means a branch. Okay, and that's where he grew up at. He was born in Bethlehem, but he grew up in Nazareth. Go ahead.
verse 16. In those days shall Judah be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. And this is the name wherewith she shall be called, Yahweh our righteousness. For thus saith Yahweh, David shall never want a man to sit upon the throne of the house of Israel. Neither shall the priests of the Levites want a man before me to offer burnt offerings and to kindle meat offerings.
Right. Because Yahawashah is going to be that priest, and the whole nation of Israel are going to be the priests. It's not going to be under the Levitical priesthood, but we're going to be priests after the order of Malach Tazadak. Go ahead.
And to do sacrifice continually. Verse 19. And the word of Yahweh came unto Jeremiah, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, if ye can break my covenant of the day and my covenant of the night, and that there should not be day and night in their season.
And that's why Esau's trying to ruin the seasons, because of what's written here. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Then may also my covenant be broken with David, my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon his throne.
And that's Yahawashah, because that was a covenant made with David. And Nathan is the one who the Lord put on the spirit on to tell him. Go ahead.
And when and with the Levites, the priests, my ministers, as the host of heaven cannot be numbered, neither the sand of the sea measured, so will I multiply the seed of David, my servant, and the Levites that minister unto me.
Keep going.
Verse 23. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, saying, Considerest thou not what this people have spoken, saying,
Right. Considers this not what Alton is saying? Considers this not what these Christians are saying? Go ahead.
the two families which Yahweh hath chosen, he hath even cast them off.
Right. The Lord ain't dealing with the Israelites. It's all about us. Got a rib in his hand.
Right.
Jesus. I don't know what y'all talking about. Like, these dudes are literally making videos saying that Hebrew Israelites are basically something that we're making up. Like, it's not real. Does that need to be plugged in?
Unless it's finna die or something. I mean, it's charged.
Okay, go ahead.
You gotta tap it. Or
No, we got
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more. Go ahead.
It says, thus they have despised my people,
Mhm.
that they should be no more a nation before them.
Right. That's what they want. Go ahead.
God says, verse 25, thus saith Yahweh, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinances of the heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob and David my servant, so that I will not take so that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham.
Right, and that seed is ultimately Yahushua, and under him we're gonna be a nation of priests, man. But the order is under Yahushua, the house of David, all right, and then those who he's gonna have mercy on will scatter throughout all the four corners of the earth, man. Okay, go ahead.
So that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them.
There you go. All right. Anybody got anything else? All right. So through the Spirit, hopefully y'all edified. Just went through a few scriptures, to prove the point, man. Because Christians, once they get cut on the 144, they jump to the large multitude. But these new, because Esau does that. Esau, he'll bring up the large multitude. Jake is just like Israel's done, period. This guy's like Alton, they're just like Israel, like what? Like,
You just make believe.
yeah, it's just, we just make, it's like, are you out of your mind? The 144,000 are clearly Israelites, man. But that large multitude is more of a mystery. But as we said, it makes sense. The Lord ain't gonna just say 144 of Israel and then out of the heathen, all right, just a large multitude. As a matter of fact, let's end it on Joel 2:27.
Okay.
Yeah, Joel 2:27. Go ahead.
Joel 2:27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am Yahweh, your power, and none else.
None else.
And my
And what did David say in Daniel? It shall not be left unto other people. Right. But it shall be given unto the saints. And that ain't just Christians, man. That's Israelites, man, who will happen to be called Christians at some point in history.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
and my people shall never be ashamed.
Bam. So with that, we'll give all praise to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakam,
Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.